rock that beat.
Alright, so if I'm being completely honest, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get this video out. I'm going to try to get it out as soon as possible because today is Sunday. I want to try to get it out by later today on Sunday, but if I can't, then I'm going to get it out by tomorrow on Monday. So whatever happens, it happens, and whenever you see the video is when you're going to see it. So I'm just saying that hopefully I can get this out by today, but regardless, we're here to talk about the newest Boruto episode, and I was expecting a lot more action, and I was expecting it to be faster paced, and to be completely honest, I thought what they were going to do was that they were going to have, it be revealed that Sasuke and Boruto are from the future. They're going to, say or do some type of stuff to make them forget that they're from the future, and, something was going to happen. They were going to somehow beat Uroshiki. Uroshiki wasn't going to be able to get the Nine Tails chakra, and that would be it, and that's how it would end, and Boruto and Sasuke would be able to go back to the future, and life would be the way that it was, and nothing would really change about it. But instead, it actually decides to end in a different way than what I was expecting, and the arc is gonna be longer than what I was anticipating. I was seriously expecting for the arc to end on this episode in particular, just because for some reason in my mind it made more sense that way. I didn't think the writers would want to continue keep going with what they were doing, but instead I guess they want to keep going and still keep this thing interesting, and have Boruto learn more about his dad Naruto. And for what it's worth, he actually does learn more about Naruto in this episode, and mainly about him and the Nine Tails chakra, and more about his life before the period of time where Boruto came back in time. Because as we already know, and as I've already said in a different video, at this current point in time in Naruto's life, he has people who acknowledge him and, are friends with him, and etc., right? People acknowledge him, but the whole village and even the world hasn't acknowledged him like how they have in the future when he's already Hokage. And by the end of the episode, he ends up, seeing more of how the Nine Tails would take control of Naruto's body, and how uncontrollable he would be, and just how unreasonable he would be, and just how he would just lose control, simple as that. And also, he also learned that before he was even born, and when the fourth Hokage, Minato, had sealed away the Nine Tails inside of Naruto's body, the people in the village started to hate him. And I say hate him because they seriously hated him. If you watch part 1, you already know that they pretty much wanted him either gone from the village and just can be completely abandoned, like already more than what he was, or for him to basically just be dead. They didn't care what happened to him, and no one would ever acknowledge him. And that's why he had that dream of becoming Hokage. And that's why he's the Hokage that we know of him as today. And it's, Boruto gets to see that. Boruto gets to learn more of that. And it's very interesting because in the beginning of the episode, it's shown that Uroshiki isn't able to get the Nine Tails chakra at all. And Sasuke and eventually Jiraiya shows up, and they're wondering why he couldn't extract any of the Nine Tails chakra. It's because of the seal that is sealing the Nine Tails within Naruto's body. And later on, they of course use a sealing jutsu to prevent from Uroshiki stealing any of Sasuke's chakra later in the episode. But eventually Uroshiki, he kidnaps Naruto, he goes away, and he's trying to figure out how to extract more of the Nine Tails chakra. Eventually, he ends up figuring out how to do it. In the episode, they fucking nerf Sasuke to the point where he still hasn't recovered all of his chakra for some reason yet. So I guess they just had to keep nerfing our favorite characters and to have the plot progress, but whatever, I guess. And there's a point in the episode where, like we've seen Kid Naruto before, he's lost complete control of himself, and the Nine Tails chakra has completely surrounded him, and he just lost control, and he wasn't himself anymore. The Nine Tails took full control of his body and what's the word I'm trying to look for? Encapsulated him with the Nine Tails chakra. That's what the Nine Tails did. That's what Kurama did, and he just wasn't himself anymore. Jiraiya even says that when Boruto sees that for the first time, and he tries to reason with him, because of course Boruto and Naruto, as a kid, they start to, bond and have some sort of friendship with each other, and he's trying to, reason with him. He's trying to use Talk no Jutsu on him, And it seems to work, and Jiraiya even points out that maybe it's because of Naruto's reacting, or the Nine Tails is reacting to Boruto's chakra for some reason. And because Boruto then, he puts a hand on him, and he rests a hand on his shoulder, and he's trying to reason with him. He's trying to get him to come to reason and turn back to normal. And it doesn't work. I actually thought that they were gonna have Boruto use Talk no Jutsu on him. He was gonna calm down, and they were gonna beat Urashiki, and then they were gonna go back in the future, like I had already said before in the beginning of the video. But no, it doesn't work. Naruto just completely fucking loses it, and then slashes at Boruto, and he gets an attack off on him. It wasn't like a deep cut or anything, because he slashes him with his fucking clawed fingernails. And he gets an attack off on him, and I was really surprised. I thought they were actually just gonna go and have Talk no Jutsu work, but it didn't. Naruto actually went ahead and slashed and retaliated back at Boruto, and Boruto then reacts to it afterwards when Urashiki fucking runs away. He's trying to comprehend what had just happened, because he had never seen Naruto like that before at all. Because as we already know, and as you should already know at this point in the series, for Boruto at least, at this point Naruto has full control of the Nine Tails chakra. He's able to communicate with the tailed beasts, the Nine Tails, the Nine Tails and all the other tailed beasts, and he's able to use their chakra and their powers to the full capability of what he can. And at that point in time, he wasn't able to, and Boruto says that he was acting like a monster. And then Jiraiya starts explaining, the life of what Naruto had to live through for his whole childhood until this point in time. And then Boruto's immediate reaction to that was, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that," because of course Naruto is still Boruto's father, and he doesn't want to mean it like the way that he said it. And Jiraiya acknowledges that he knew that he didn't mean it like that. It's just when you see something like that with someone that you've bonded with for the past couple days, you tend to want to react a certain way, and that's just what happened. And I want to say say one thing about what happened earlier in the episode as well, towards the early part. A couple other stuff actually. I thought it was interesting that Jiraiya sees that Boruto uses the Rasengan, but he hasn't mentioned about the fact that he's able to use the Rasengan yet. So I'm gonna assume that we're gonna see him mention that next week, because he's gonna have Boruto and Naruto learn a combination technique of some sort. I don't know what's gonna be, but hopefully it's cool looking. And then what else? What else was there? Oh, right. So Urashiki found out a way on how to potentially extract the Nine Tails chakra, right? And he sticks his hand where the seal is, and he's able to get inside of Naruto's head, and that one into the place where Naruto always goes when he's talking to Kurama, inside his head. I don't even really know what the room is called, but it's where the actual seal is, and where Naruto was able to remove it. Right? I'm speaking a lot. I have to breathe. I was wondering if somehow Urashiki was gonna forcibly break the seal for some reason, and if he does, I started questioning what was gonna happen afterwards. Because if you watch Naruto Shippuden, you know that when Pain attacked the village, Naruto was getting controlled by the Nine Tails and was about to turn into the full Nine Tails cloak, and the Nine Tails was gonna be able to take full control and be back of who he was. And Naruto was about to break the seal to be able to allow that to happen, because the Nine Tails was manipulating him to do that. But Minato, the fourth Hokage, aka Naruto's dad, stops him from preventing to do that. And I was gonna be wondering the whole time. What would have happened if Urashiki had managed to be able to forcibly break the seal? Would Minato show up for some reason? Would Kushina show up for some reason? Because Minato, when he was sealing away the Nine Tails inside of Naruto's body, he sealed himself and Kushina within Naruto, so that way one day that if for whatever reason the seal was about to break, Minato would show up. And whenever Naruto was ready to try to extract the Nine Tails chakra and use it for whatever purposes he has to use it for, Kushina was going to be there and help him out along the way. And I was just very interested to see if that was going to happen. I wanted to see what they were going to do with that, and they don't show up, but I was wondering, like, if that were to happen, what would have happened? Like, exactly. Just, I thought it was a unique thing that could have happened, but it hasn't happened, and I don't think it will. But I thought it should be brought up because I think that would have been really cool if it did happen for whatever reason. So, yeah, that's kind of the episode, though. The episode pretty much just ends off with Jiraiya asking Boruto if he wants to, train with Naruto and Jiraiya, and, the previews show that they're going to potentially be learning a combination attack. Some stuff's going to happen next week, and I think hopefully next week is going to be an entertaining episode, so... for, like I said before, for what it's worth, this episode was actually very entertaining. It was slow-paced, and I thought there was going to be more action, but there wasn't. But for what it was worth, it was actually still really enjoyable because of, the reaction that we get to see from Boruto learning more about Naruto's past. And I think that's, some of the most interesting stuff that we got from this arc so far is that firsthand he's really witnessing, Naruto's life, as it was before in the past instead of what it is now. And hopefully with him learning all this, Boruto will start to fucking like his dad a lot more. But knowing the goddamn writers, they'll probably be lazy and completely retcon all this, and he'll still be a fucking dick to his goddamn dad for whatever reason. So, whatever. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that, I guess. So, I guess without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you did enjoy it for whatever reason, be sure to leave a like. If you are new, subscribe. For more videos, just suggest I see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm out.